Most people spend their entire lives waiting for it to begin. They think happiness is somewhere ahead, around the next corner after the next achievement. But what if I told you that every single moment you've lived, every struggle, every joy, every confusion, was exactly where you were supposed to be? What if the stages of life aren't obstacles to overcome, but invitations to wake up? Right now, in this very moment, you're standing in one of life's great transitions. And by the end of this video, you'll understand not just where you are, but why it matters and what comes next. Here's something nobody talks about. Life doesn't unfold the way we're told it will. We're fed this story from childhood that if we follow the steps, check the boxes, do everything right, we'll arrive at some final destination called success or happiness. Get good grades, go to college, land the career, find the partner, buy the house, raise the kids, retire comfortably, die peacefully. But here's the reality. Life moves in waves, not straight lines. It flows through stages that repeat, overlap, and spiral back on themselves. And the people who suffer most are the ones fighting against the stage they've ridden, wishing they were somewhere else, someone else at some other time. Today we're going to walk through every major stage of human life, not the way psychology textbooks describe it with cold clinical terms and age brackets, but the way you actually experience it, the inner shifts, the identity crises, the moments when everything you thought you knew gets turned upside down. Because when you understand the stage you're in, when you stop resisting it and start working with it, everything changes. You stop feeling lost. You stop comparing yourself to people who are playing an entirely different game. And you start to see that where you are right now is exactly where the transformation happens. So let's break this down. Let's talk about the 5 great stages of life that every human being moves through, whether they're conscious of it or not. Stage 1, the age of learning and imitation. Think back to when you were a child. Not the Instagram version of childhood where everything is magical and innocent. The real version, where you didn't know who you were yet. Where every single day was about absorbing information, testing boundaries, and figuring out how this strange world operates. This is the stage of pure learning. And it doesn't just happen in childhood, it happens every single time you enter a new environment, start a new career, begin a new relationship. You become a student again, whether you want to or not. During this stage, you're a sponge. You watch the people around you. You copy their behaviors, their speech patterns, their beliefs. You don't question much because you don't have the framework to question yet. Your parents tell you what's right and wrong, and you believe them. Your teachers tell you what success looks like, and you chase it. Your friends show you how to fit in, and you adapt. But here's what makes this stage so critical. Everything you learn here becomes your operating system. These early programs run in the background for decades, often without you even realizing it. That fear of speaking up you have, probably learned before age 7. That belief that you're not good enough, installed during this stage. That need for external validation? Yep, same time frame. Now, most people think this stage ends when you turn 18 or 21 or when you graduate college. Wrong. This stage only ends when you start questioning what you've been taught. When you begin to ask, is this actually true? Or is this just what I was told? And here's the problem. Many people never leave this stage. They spend their entire lives living out someone else's script, following rules they never agreed to, chasing goals that were handed to them by parents, society, advertising, social media. They reach 40, 50, 60 years old, and they're still imitating, still performing, still trying to be the person they think they should be instead of discovering who they actually are. So the question becomes, when do you graduate from this stage? When do you stop being a passive receiver and start becoming an active creator of your own life? That brings us to the second stage. And this is where things get uncomfortable. Stage 2, the age of ambition and striving. This is the stage most people think life is really about. This is where you take all that programming from stage 1 and you put it into action. You set goals, you make plans, you hustle, you build, you chase success, status, money, recognition, love, validation. This stage usually hits in your late teens or early 20s, but again, it's not about age, it's about energy. It's about that burning desire to prove yourself, to make your mark, to show the world and yourself that you matter. And let me be clear, there is absolutely nothing wrong with this stage. Ambition is not a sin. Wanting things is not shallow. Building a career, creating wealth, pursuing achievements, these are all valid expressions of human energy. The problem isn't the ambition itself. The problem is when you believe that the ambition is the point. Here's what happens during this stage. You enter what we might call the great chasing game. You see something you want, a job title, a certain income level, a relationship, a body type, a lifestyle. And you tell yourself, when I get that, then I'll be happy, then I'll be complete, then I'll finally be able to relax. So you work, you sacrifice, you push through exhaustion, doubt, fear. And here's the thing, sometimes you actually get what you were chasing. You land the promotion, you hit the income goal, you find the partner, you buy the house. And for a brief moment it feels incredible. You did it, you made it, you proved everyone wrong or you proved everyone right, depending on the story you're telling yourself. But then something strange happens, something nobody warned you about. The satisfaction fades faster than you expected. And you find yourself looking at the next mountain, the next goal, the next thing that will finally, truly, definitely make you happy. This is the hamster wheel stage, and it's not a design flaw, it's a feature. Because this stage isn't actually about getting what you want. It's about discovering that getting what you want doesn't work the way you thought it would. This stage teaches you one of life's most important lessons. External achievements cannot fill internal voids. No amount of success will make you feel successful if you don't feel worthy. No amount of love from others will make you feel lovable if you haven't learned to love yourself. No amount of money will make you feel secure if you're fundamentally afraid of life. Now, some people learn this lesson in their 20s, some learn it in their 30s or 40s, some people never learn it at all. They just keep chasing, keep grinding, keep believing that the next achievement will be the one that finally satisfies them. And they die exhausted, confused about why nothing ever felt like enough. But for those who do learn the lesson, for those who hit a moment where they look around at everything they've built and think, okay, I got what I wanted, so why do I still feel empty? Those people are ready for the third stage. And this is where the real transformation begins. Stage 3, the age of questioning and crisis. Let's call this what it really is. The breakdown stage, the dark night of the soul, the midlife crisis, except it doesn't always happen at midlife. It can hit at 25 or 35 or 55. It doesn't care about your timeline. This is the stage where everything you believe starts to crack. The goals you were chasing suddenly seem meaningless. The identity you built starts to feel like a costume. The relationships that once made sense now feel suffocating or empty. The career you worked so hard for feels like a trap. And the scariest part, you don't know who you are anymore. Because up until this point, you were what you achieved. You were your job title, your income, your relationship status, your social media following, your accomplishments. You built your entire sense of self on external markers. But now those markers aren't working anymore. They're not providing the meaning, the purpose, the satisfaction they used to. And you're left staring at this terrifying question. If I'm not what I do, then who am I? This stage feels like death. And in a way, it is. It's the death of the false self, the death of the persona you created to survive stage 1 and succeed in stage 2, the death of all the lies you told yourself about what would make you happy. Most people run from this stage. They numb it with work, alcohol, shopping, affairs, social media, anything to avoid sitting with the discomfort. They call it depression or burnout or a phase. They try to push through it, power through it, medicate it away. But here's what they don't realize. This stage isn't something to escape, it's something to surrender to, because on the other side of this breakdown is a breakthrough. On the other side of this death is a rebirth. This is the stage where you start asking real questions, not surface questions like, what job should I take, or should I stay in this relationship, but deep questions. What do I actually value? What brings me genuine joy, not just temporary pleasure? What would I do if I wasn't afraid of what others thought? Who would I be if I let go of who I think I'm supposed to be? And these questions don't have easy answers. In fact, they often don't have answers at all at first. They just create space. Space for something new to emerge. Space for your true self to start speaking up, maybe for the first time in your life. This stage is messy. It's confusing. It's lonely. Because most people around you are still playing the game you're starting to question. And when you start saying things like, I don't care about the promotion anymore, or I'm not sure this lifestyle makes sense, or I need to figure out what I actually want, people look at you like you've lost your mind. Maybe you have. Maybe that's exactly what needed to happen. Because the mind you're losing is the one that was never really yours to begin with. So you sit with the questions. You let go of the old certainties. You stop pretending you have it all figured out. And slowly, gradually, something shifts, which brings us to stage 4. And this is where life gets interesting again, but in a completely different way. Stage 4, the age of integration and purpose. If stage 3 was about breaking down, stage 4 is about building back up. But not the same structure, not the same goals, not the same identity. Something deeper, something truer, something that actually reflects who you are, not who you were taught to be. This is the stage where you start living from the inside out instead of the outside in. You stop asking, what does the world want from me? And start asking, what do I want to give to the world? You've been through the fire. You've questioned everything. You've let go of the false securities, and now you're standing on solid ground for the first time. Not because you have all the answers, but because you're okay with not having them. In this stage, your relationship with success changes completely. You still set goals, you still create, you still work. But it's not desperate anymore. It's not coming from a place of lack or fear or need for validation. It's coming from overflow, from genuine interest, from a desire to express something real. You start making decisions based on alignment, not achievement. You ask, does this feel right? Not, will this make me look good? You choose relationships that nourish you, not ones that drain you. You pursue work that matters to you, not work that impresses others. And here's what's wild. Often this is when external success actually shows up. Not because you're chasing it, but because you've stopped chasing it. You're operating from your true self now, and that energy is magnetic. People can feel it. Opportunities show up. Doors open. Not because you're forcing them, but because you're finally in alignment. This stage is about integration. You integrate all the lessons from the previous stages, the learning from stage 1, the skills and achievements from stage 2, the wisdom and depth from stage 3. You're not rejecting any of it. You're bringing it all together into a coherent whole. You also start to see patterns. You recognize that life moves in cycles, that there will be more breakdowns and breakthroughs, more deaths and rebirths. And instead of resisting this rhythm, you start to dance with it. Purpose becomes clearer in this stage, but not in the way you expected. It's not some grand mission statement or world-changing vision. It's simpler than that. It's about showing up fully in each moment. It's about being present with what is. It's about contributing in whatever way feels natural to you, without needing recognition or reward. You realize that purpose isn't something you find, it's something you become. And you become it by living authentically, by making choices that reflect your values, by treating each day as sacred, not because it's leading somewhere, but because it's here right now. And then, if you're fortunate enough to live long enough, you enter the fifth and final stage. Stage 5, the age of reflection and letting go. This is the stage of the elder, the sage, the one who has seen it all, done it all, questioned it all, and made peace with it all. This stage isn't about age either, though it typically comes later in life. It's about perspective. It's about reaching a place where you're no longer trying to become anything, you simply are. In this stage, your relationship with time changes. You stop living for the future. You stop dwelling on the past. You become fully present because you understand, maybe for the first time, that this moment is all there ever is. You start letting go. Not because you're giving up, but because you're releasing the need to control. You let go of old grudges, old regrets, old versions of yourself that you've been clinging to. You forgive, not just others, but yourself. You become less interested in accumulation and more interested in simplification. You start giving things away, not just physical possessions, but emotional baggage, rigid beliefs, unnecessary commitments. You create space, lots of it. And in that space, you find something you've been searching for your whole life. Peace. Not the peace that comes from having everything figured out, not the peace that comes from getting everything you wanted, but the peace that comes from accepting everything exactly as it is. You see young people making the same mistakes you made, and instead of judging them, you smile. Because you know they have to make those mistakes. You know that's part of their journey, just like it was part of yours. You become a witness to life instead of a warrior against it. You stop fighting, stop resisting, stop trying to make reality conform to your preferences. And in that surrender, you discover freedom. This stage is about legacy, but not in the traditional sense. You're not worried about what you'll be remembered for. You're more interested in what you can pass on. Wisdom, kindness, presence, love. Not through grand gestures, but through simple moments, a conversation, a smile, a gentle reminder that everything is okay, even when it doesn't feel like it, and eventually you prepare for the ultimate letting go. Death, not with fear, but with curiosity, because you've already died 1,000 small deaths throughout your life. Every transition from one stage to another was a death, and you made it through every single one. So when the final death comes, it's not a tragedy, it's a completion, a return, a coming home to whatever mystery lies beyond this strange, beautiful, painful, glorious experience we call being human. Now, here's what you need to understand. These stages aren't neat categories. Life doesn't move in straight lines. You might touch stage 4 and get thrown back into stage 3. You might experience stage 5 energy in your 20s and stage 2 energy in your 60s. That's okay, that's human. The point isn't to graduate from one stage and never look back. The point is to recognize where you are right now, to stop resisting it, to stop thinking you should be somewhere else, because wherever you are, that's your classroom. That's where the lesson is. If you're in stage 1, learn everything you can, but stay curious. Question what you're being taught. If you're in stage 2, chase your dreams, but don't mistake achievement for fulfillment. If you're in stage 3, let yourself break. Let yourself not know. Let yourself be lost, because that's how you get found. If you're in stage 4, build from your truth and trust the process. If you're in stage 5, enjoy the view and share what you've learned. And remember this, every stage is temporary. Every feeling is temporary. Every identity is temporary. The only constant is change itself. And when you stop fighting that change, when you start flowing with it, life becomes infinitely easier. You stop waiting for life to begin, because you realize it's been happening all along. Every moment, every stage, every transition, it's all been life, and it's all been exactly what you needed. So wherever you are right now, whatever stage you're in, take a breath. Look around. This is it. This is your life. Not someday, not when you get there. Right now. And that's more than enough. If this helped you see your life differently, subscribe for more.